Hi, my name's John Greger. I'm a nature landscape photographer. I've been photographing for about 40 years. Today I'm going to talk about print papers, and I'm going to talk about which ones I use and why. Printing is a large part of what I do. Ever since I began photography, I became interested in the print. For me, a photograph isn't really a photograph until I can hold it in my hand as a print. Then it becomes real. So choosing a paper, a print paper, is very important. I want a print paper that has a really wide color gamut and dynamic range, something that shows the image in its best possible way. So I take my papers very, very seriously. And the choice of paper that I use is Moab Papers. I'm going to talk in particular about three specific papers that I like and why I like them. The first one is the Lasalle Photo Mat. I like the Lasalle Photo Mat. It's a cellulose-based paper. I like it because it's inexpensive. It's one of their more inexpensive papers, but yet it gives very good quality. It could be a finishing paper in and of itself. I use it for my test prints. I like to test print everything before I go with a larger print. So test printing is very important. I want it to match to the final paper. And the Lasalle is a great match to the final image. It gives excellent quality results, and you don't have to spend an arm and a leg on it. For my finished papers, I kind of look at it, I look at the image and I make a decision whether I want it to go as a luster type finish or a matte finish. If I'm photographing or if I'm using a luster type finish for the print, then my typical choice is the Juniper Vrata rag paper. This stuff is excellent. It gives a really nice look to it. It's got just a little bit of a sheen with a little stipple on the finish. And that looks great for black and whites in particular. Those of you that might go back to the old black and white days when we used to take an F-surface glossy finished paper and air dry it instead of ferrotype it, it gave sort of a luster finish to it with a little bit of stipple. That Vrata finish looks almost identical to that. It's an excellent paper for black and white as well as color, especially if you want a little bit more punch to the image, you want it to be a little bit more vibrant. The Vrata finish is wonderful. My go-to paper for most images is the Entrada Bright. It's a rag-based paper. It's a very heavy paper. It's about 300 grains, which means that it decals very nicely where I tear the edge. And I do that with quite a few of my images. So that's a nice feature of it. It's got an incredible color gamut and good dynamic range for most of the uses that I have for landscape photography. Let's talk a little bit about paper profiles and how to get the most out of your Moab papers. Profiling papers is very important. One of the biggest things that I hear from beginning printmakers, and I teach a lot of printmaking workshops, is what I see on my monitor doesn't match what I get on my print. How do we reconcile that? How do we make those two things match up so that what we see on our screen will turn out as a good print? Well, the first tip I would give you is that no matter, it doesn't matter what you see on the screen. What matters is the print that you're creating, because the screen is never ever going to match exactly to the print. Now, I calibrate my monitors. That's a very important thing to do, but it's only one step in the process. The other part is getting a proper profile and, most importantly, watching what your histograms are doing to match up to what you anticipate the print's going to look like. Let's look at how we deal with profiles. I have the Moab website open, and the website is where you get your profiles. So if you go right here to the Icc Profiles downloads, right there, and you can download by selecting the type of printer that you have, and then the exact model, and then the media types. All the different types of paper that Moab makes, you have a corresponding profile that you download. What's really great about the Moab site, if we go here to the profile use and installation, it gives us a step-by-step process to download those profiles. It's extremely easy. As you can see, there's only 2 steps here on how to download. It's a very easy process. It takes you a couple minutes and it gives you great results. Yes, I love to print. I've got lots of images, and I like to make them real. An image isn't real until I can hold it in my hands.